8 o'clock, and we're just going to bullshit on the way in, too. I'm just going to roll the credits through it just like we have been, and we won't even announce who the guest is. We'll just talk about it once they start, and that'll be that. Again, nobody's watching right now, so what do I care?
Right?
It's a great time to learn. When you have the freedom of nobody paying attention.
Podcast like no one's watching.
That's right. Podcast like no one's watching. And you know what happens?
Put that on it.
They're always watching it, Jerry. They're always watching it. The viewers might not be watching it, but they're watching, Jerry.
They read?
I told Terry that I went to the med check today, and they diagnosed me with Havana syndrome. Ever since you showed up at the house, apparently they've been pumping my brain with microwaves from the outside. So, thanks for bringing your drama into my neck of the woods, you bastard.
Sorry, man. Hey, for the record, there is no tin in tin foil.
What?
So you know.
Is it just all
It's
aluminum?
all aluminum.
They fear that, man. That's how they keep to maintain the myth. They change the product line. You know what I mean? So.
That's
It's
how you
branded.
get them. That's how
Yeah, you
all-
can't get tin foil. If you can find anybody with a real roll of tin foil, boy, tell them to come to my house.
There you go.
Yeah, I'd like a beanie. I really would. I'll take
A
it.
tinfoil beanie?
Sure, why not?
They have some that are lined with that stuff, don't they?
Well, I know it's all aluminum now, so anyway, just gives you Alzheimer's.
Right? Yeah, that's why I
Everything
switched
gives you
to
something.
non-aluminum.
Don't lick your hat.
Yeah. Non-aluminum deodorants only.
Yeah, why would they put aluminum in deodorant anyway? What was that for?
I think they used it as an antiperspirant, maybe.
Aluminum?
Yeah.
They couldn't
Yeah.
think of anything better than that?
Right, no.
Arsenic
yeah.
wasn't out yet?
Arsenic. Yeah, arsenic.
Never
wasn't
attempts to
available.
get it in your system.
They hadn't developed arsenic yet, so they had to start with aluminum. See now, Mike, you guys look great. My camera's all screwed up. Boy, it's always got to be something on my end. Technically, I am just
Aluminum-free
terrible at
deodorant
this
because
job.
I get enough aluminum in my beer from my beer can.
You right?
Hey, everybody. It's us. It's the Fist Deep. We're back. We're post 48-hour film festival, and we're pretty stoked. We've got the writing team, or at least half of the writing team present today. Our wives and Adam being the other three. The incomparable, the sexy, the fluent in Aramaic, Gerry Gobel.
Yay.
What's up, man?
Hey,
How you doing, dude?
Thanks for having me on again.
Thanks for being on again, man. Just
I
really glad to have you.
appreciate you being able to reassociate with me. I think that's very nice.
Dude, we could always associate with you, man.
I know. Well, I don't get that a lot. Usually I'm good for people like 1 or 2 visits, and they're like, okay.
No.
So-
Good Lord, no. This is a safe spot, dude. You can come in here and do whatever you want.
Thank
We're just
you.
having a good time.
I'm
Put all
glad.
the other
That was a
bullshit
lot
to the
of fun.
outside and hang out like human beings, man. Just chill out.
Right. So
So
thanks for
what's up?
having me on the show, and thanks
Yeah.
for having me on the festival script. That was a lot of fun.
What'd you think of it? So you got to come over. Real quick, Terry, explain kind of what happened on Friday.
Yeah, so basically, we've done this. This is probably our 4th time we've done this, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
The 48-hour film project, where you get 2 days to make a film, and each team has a different genre and certain elements and all this stuff that we have to incorporate. So we met Friday night after I got what was needed. We had a nice little dinner, and we created a writer's room and came up with a holiday story about.
We certainly
And
did.
what other holiday but Festivus?
Right.
That's right.
For the rest.
For the rest of us. And that's what it ended up being called, actually, was For the Rest of Us.
Right.
So and it
Isn't
did
that
well.
like going to be the sequel for that Last of Us 3? It's almost sort of fits in there.
Okay.
You're gonna get caught in a lot of search engines.
That's fine. We
All
can
right.
we can do
They're
that.
like, oh, well, this is the holiday edition.
They're gonna, yeah, right. Well, if they get
This is
if
like
we
the
get caught
Star
with this
Trek-
show, they're just gonna get drag commentary because that's all we're here to talk about today, baby, is RuPaul. So Jerry comes over to the
Bland.
house. I made
So bland.
lasagna for everybody.
Yep.
That was good.
I made breadsticks. This was all homemade stuff. Not my recipe though. That was that Alex, the French cooking guy from YouTube. Just a really good lasagna recipe. Look it up, dude. It's awesome. Anyway, And then the bread is Old Bread, a guy named Adam Ragusia, who's on YouTube also, who's went to IU, I think, because he's got a IU sticker on his refrigerator, and that's where he does the stuff. So anyway, we hung out, we had lasagna, and we came up with this script where people get murdered. And it was just a good time just hanging out with you, Gerry, and just relaxing with everybody and having a free space to be creative and nobody look at you like you're a crazy person and everybody just be able to say what they want to say and have a good time. It was fun.
That's good. Well, I'll tell you what, it's not a lot of times you see a bunch of guys sit around talking about, well, what would be really funny? And
Yeah.
they never actually put anything together. Now you got a hard copy of it. Here you go.
Yeah.
You know, that's the best part because it's like, you know, it was like a night of bullshitting that was actually work.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
You know?
And we landed on a sweetheart of a category and all of that.
Yeah, I think so. A holiday or a vacation film. I mean, that was,
Well, and there's drama
yeah, we had
or
drama. Yeah,
we had all
could've-
categories.
And we kind of hit that, right? So holiday
very
vacation,
true.
what else did we have?
What was it? We had to have a line of dialogue that was, "What did you do last weekend?"
What did you do last
The name.
weekend?
Yeah.
Which I think we got in it. Gerry just saw the film right before we started the podcast or the webcast. Gerry, what'd you think?
I thought it's definitely fun for the whole family.
Well, we're going to talk about it more
For
later
the
because
rest of us, you know,
so-
it's, you know,
Yeah.
it's a hot topic. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later. What's going on with you, dude? We haven't had you on in what, like a month now? I want to have you on every month if I can.
oh yeah, that's fine. You know, I have no problem with that. I'm, you know, usually looking for somebody that'll let me hang around with them, so that works fine with me.
Dude,
Been
you
doing
found
some
it.
shows. We've got some shows going. Life's coming back to the world. Talking to a guy about starting an open mic on the east side of Cincinnati somewhere. So,
Oh, cool.
yeah, that's the next thing. So it's like, you know, I'm down, you know, down by the Cincinnati area. So I like kind of relocated. So it's all about remaking new connections and meeting people.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to meeting them. I'll tell you what, it's definitely one of those things where it's like you get to die and come back and be somebody else again. It's
Isn't
kind of
that
nice.
wild?
Yeah, it is. It's just sort of like, oh, who's this guy? And it's, you know, I know how it is around Indianapolis. I walk into a place and they go like, oh, there we go. And I look at it. I hope he doesn't do that thing where he, I hope does he gonna hang himself again?
So you get a whole new market to hang yourself around
Yeah,
town.
I'm like these guys are never gonna see it coming. I'm gonna just brutalize them.
That's right.
Because that's the way I feel about it. I'm just like, well, you know, you guys are all nice and stuff. But when I was in Indy for a while, working regular full time, and then I quit for a while, came back, and it was like all these new comics didn't smoke dope,
Right.
and I was like, I was scared for the children.
It's rough, right?
I was like, who's gonna teach these kids? You can't. This isn't right, you know.
Isn't it
So,
wild?
My best.
Some people are like,
now
man,
it escalated to community building.
some people are like, man, that's the way. And then they look at you and quite frankly, me and Terry and everybody around our ilk, and they go, you are just an antiquated thing, relic. What do you say to that?
Yeah.
You antiquated relic. You didn't know you were coming to answer the
I would
hardball
say-
questions, did you?
I would say I represent a past that was funnier than you.
Oh man, I buy that.
So yeah, no, it's like you guys all got pussified, and then nobody can do jokes right because now they can't say words and stuff because they get censored.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, I just murder your grandma in front of you. I don't give a shit.
Do you think that's
I'll do it
coming back
nicely.
around?
It will be funny. Your grandma will die a spectacularly funny death. It's not in vain. I'm not just that.
It'll come back.
You know,
It'll
And
come
it's
back around.
pretend.
Yeah, it's all going to come back around.
It's make believe. Who cares? It's
well,
just
that's why
words.
I used to violate cartoon characters. That's why I was like, for a while, that's all I would do. I'd only violate movies and cartoon characters because you can't get mad about something that doesn't exist.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But people
All right.
still would. They'll be uncomfortable, you know.
Now explain violate.
Take something cherished and reveal it for what it is.
Okay. Well, give me
You
an
know,
example.
Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. That's the one I do a lot. I get a lot of blood in that one.
Elmo, do you have,
That's-
you have an Elmo one? You have an
What's
Elmo
that?
joke? You have an Elmo joke, or is it a Muppets?
Yeah, I did. Wow, yeah, I've had Muppet jokes too.
No.
I mean, like I said, you go after everything. It's really about the, in a case of stuff where everybody's seen it and it becomes kind of the stereotype, then violate it. I got Yogi the Bear stories. Not
Right.
You don't know Yogi, and we got, you got Sesame Street, you got other things.
So who do we consider to
There's
be
always
fair
something-
game in this comedy market? Who are the only people? I mean, what groups can you really talk about and be free with how you talk to them without getting smashed? Are there any?
Well, I think you have to book your own room for that.
Okay.
To be honest, I mean, because it's like, okay, so if you book the room and if you're a person who has a problem with things and you're the guy running the room, your friends probably do too.
Right.
So it's almost by association. See, with me, you got it easy because I don't care what you say.
Right.
I don't care. There's nothing you can say that I haven't violated already and probably should have been triple canceled already, because that's the whole point.
Right.
The whole point is to go over. I mean, that's why I don't understand this whole, you went too far. I'm like, seriously, man, just tuck them back up. Because you don't, sorry, fella.
Can you?
Just ain't happening this time. Go back to the 90s and watch some stand up or Comedy Spotlight when Comedy Central used to be worth the shit.
Right.
Back when
Right.
they used to put something out that you could use, because you could watch. That was the best thing, is you could watch open mics all over the country. Guys submit their tapes, and not all of them were good. That's not the point. The whole point is you work in a room, you're doing stuff live.
I was in the Marines during that time, and they had Comedy Central on the AFARTS, the Armed Forces Radio Television Service, AFARTS, and it
Yeah,
was
so you
it
probably
was
remember
just
a lot of
one
it.
comedian right after another, just for hours. They didn't have any content. They didn't have any programming until like 8.
Right.
So all day long,
Yeah.
it was
Your big
just
program
great
was a full
comedy.
set.
What's that?
Yeah.
And-
The only programming was full sets. Like you'd see a
Yeah.
lot of Gallagher shows, because he did a ton of Gallagher shows. You know what I mean? But it was all like full sets of dudes, and you got to see how a professional worked from beginning to end. How does he start a dead crowd? Is the crowd dead?
Right.
I also love those specials because they do that pan in where they fly in from the back of the room to come to the stage, and they cross over all the tables in the back, so you get to see how it's actually filled out.
Yeah.
I always love those little, because it's like, well, it's a live taping, but let's face it. If, I did the first Church of Cannabis shows for a year, and we had barely anybody there if there was anybody, but you could pass it off as a TV show because people on the internet were watching.
Right.
So then the question becomes, what is a studio taped audience? Really just you by yourself in a room doing your set, you just, do you care about reaction? Does reaction matter? Does it become a story?
Tell me a little bit
I
about
just
the
like all
Church
those
of
little
Cannabis, the show itself, not the church or the politics, but just the show itself. I'm not real familiar with that.
Okay, so what we did was we put together a show called The Comedy Grinder.
Okay.
And I had this, okay, so I've always been one of these guys who's been trying to push people to go to different places, because that's the whole point.
Right.
You got a good 5 minutes, now you want a good 10 minutes. Do you want a good 15 minutes? But you can't get time anywhere.
Right.
So I was offering, and they wanted, because Bill called me and said he wanted me to be the minister of comedy, or the minister of humor.
Okay.
I call myself humorous warfare, the minister of humorous warfare.
All right.
Because to me, it's a battle. It's not always about being fun. It's like sometimes, if you got an agenda, and at this point in time in the world, everybody understands the whole concept of having an agenda and pushing it through material.
Oh, yeah.
The problem is they don't understand you can't put it up front.
Right.
The whole point, you switch it a little bit underneath, you put it under the radar.
Right.
Gotta get under
The film we
rug.
did.
So
Yeah, they don't see, once you laugh at something that you're not comfortable with, I beat you. I win.
so
Because that's the whole point.
here, I'm going to share screen with you real quick. I'm going to start showing this to everybody else, and
Okay.
you come up with a way to talk about this without just directly crapping on it. Are you ready? I'm going to share it with you right now.
Okay, don't crap on it.
You ready? There you go. Do you know?
Ooh, that's cool.
You like that?
That's very nice.
Yeah, it's
You've
cool,
been
right?
doing acid?
No, that was done by Hunter Biden.
Oh, that's Hunter Biden's.
That's Hunter Biden's.
Yeah, I just
So-
paid $500,000 for that.
Who did it for him?
No, that's Hunter Biden. And here's the thing: not
Actually,
only is that
you know what's
Hunter
funny,
Biden,
though?
so
You know what
so-
that art is, though?
what?
That's like blow art. That's art you'd have to put the ink down and you blow it with your straw. I saw pictures
okay.
of him doing that.
There's
It was really nice to see him take it out of his nose for a change.
there was another one. Actually, we looked at it. We had him on the show last week. I took him down. There were a couple other ones. They weren't too bad. I'm gonna give credit to Hunter Biden. They weren't terrible. I didn't necessarily get them, but they are what they are.
$500,000.
No, that's the deal. Pumping up the thing and doing all of that. But how do you say? Because we're talking about how to be able to say something and cut underneath the surface without going directly at it. Like I would go, this was done by an absolute piece of shit who needs to drop out of the spotlight and like forever for the sake of like everyone. How would you comedy that? Because I suck at that.
I would say
I need
that
help.
This looks like a picture that, I mean, it's sort of like how artists paint themselves sometimes.
Right?
This is Hunter painting his chlamydia. He's got something. He's been to the island, and Jim Carrey's dick was there too, so he's got chlamydia. Let's not
Dude.
make any mistake.
Islands, no islands, none of that. It is just,
Oh, we're not doing that.
it is
Sorry.
remarkable
Stuff
to me what this guy, I mean, I don't know.
It just shows you when you know Chinese, it pays off.
Dude, I don't know. I don't know what that guy's deal is. I don't know why he can't just stop. Why does he have to sit there with his legs crossed like Hunter Thompson, trying to pawn himself off as this grand artist all of a sudden? You know what I mean? Roll down a
Because
hill,
they can't
dude.
money launder the books anymore.
I said it
can't
last
money
week and I'll
launder.
say it again. If that guy doesn't stub his toe on a coffee table every night of his life, there's no God. Done. That's the end of that argument, period. Nobody deserves it more than that turd. If only for the reason that he hasn't just left us all the fuck alone by this point. Take all the money you've gathered and leave. I'm becoming
It's a
you,
lot.
Jerry. I've been around you too much. I'm becoming you. I don't shave.
That's how it works. This is why the third or fourth visit, they're like, oh, it's cute.
My
Yeah.
no,
Hey,
it's
by
not-
the way, did you hear about McAfee's Dead Man Switch?
Dude,
Yeah, is that going to come out? I want to see.
wait,
Okay,
what
you-
now?
Dude, there's
Talk.
okay. So
Do you think he was suicided, or do you think? Because he did say he hyped that up like, hey, he had the tattoo. He said, if I ever die, I didn't
Right.
do it. But he was
Right.
facing. I mean, you can't duck out on your taxes and not pay $100 million or whatever, and not
right.
have to do some serious jail time. I mean, that's what they always get people on tax evasion. He would have, if they
Right.
would have brought him back to
Well-
the United States, he would have been here for the rest of. He would have died in prison. They do
Right.
that to tax people.
Right.
Who,
That's what he told his parole board.
Erwin Schiff died.
He was like, I'll die.
yeah. So he may
Yeah.
just said,
So,
I can't do that. Let me troll.
Yeah.
Let me be the biggest troll
well,
of all time.
he did it before. He's done it before. I mean, not faked his death, but escaped from jails and stuff. I mean, he's got a real interesting life. But I'll tell you what, though, the tax evasion thing sounds to me like that's a reach. Because, okay, so I got a video clip of him talking to some chick in an interview. And he said, I had these laptops that I sent to the secretaries of the most powerful people in Washington. And it was preloaded with spyware.
Okay.
So he spied on Washington. So this dead man switch is supposedly like 43 terabytes of compromising information, emails and such. And you can do a lot of damage with 43 terabytes.
Right.
He said one in specific instance within it was about 2 CIA agents and a guy in the Bahamas. So there's some kind of connection with the Bahamas that's really big.
Okay.
But then if you're talking about human trafficking and stuff like that, I would imagine that's where they're talking all the money.
Right.
So, but that's in the Dead Man Switch stuff, among all the other stuff. There was a point when when McAfee was running around loose, he had screen printed pictures of his face on socks, right, on these masks.
Okay.
And he put them on his bodyguard and sent them out as decoys. One of his bodyguards got snatched.
Okay.
Because he showed up on the recognition software. The mask showed up on recognition software, and he got tagged.
Yeah.
So it was like, what?
Well,
He was wearing a sock. I got a picture of it. It doesn't look anything like John McAfee. I mean, it
but he
looks like
still
a
got
dude
picked
wearing
up on recognition software.
Yeah.
As John McAfee.
So, right. And he claims it's CIA, and he claims they tried to kill him and the guy that supposedly he murdered. See, there's a murder charge on there, too.
Right.
Supposedly he murdered his neighbor. Yeah. But, like, if you want to frame a dude, yeah.
Right. Well, I mean.
But if you're the CIA, you do it and say that's what happened, you know.
Sure.
Yeah, but
Bill Cooper got killed.
Why not just do
Sketchy
it?
way.
Why not just do it instead of dance around like freaking jokers and be like oogie boogie, oogie boogie, and him go, well, they almost. I'm John McAfee. I'm Jason Bourne in disguise, and I can evade the CIA. Why didn't the CIA just drop him? CIA just drop people all the time.
You have to be a millionaire to be able to do that. You have to be so rich you can afford to just have safe houses all over the place. You can't. A normal guy can't disappear.
Right.
You can maybe. I see. And the thing is I've thought about it. I've been trying to think about what would happen if things go south, right?
Right.
So you always go like, well, if it did turn into being some kind of thing, where could you go? The only thing you could do is blend into homeless encampments. That's all you could do, and they're the first people they're going to waste anyway. So
now, when you say go south, what do you mean by go south?
Well, if you think the Illuminati stuff even has any credibility, the whole point of the Illuminati is to get, again, Georgia Guidestones, get the population down to 500 million or 50 million. No, 500 million. Yeah, because it was, because we're at
The U.S.
8.5 billion.
Or the world population at 500 million.
Yeah, so it would be 500 million world population, easy to control. Or that's the amount of people that you think you can turn that would be cool with this. Like, imagine the world becomes completely communist. It's one country. That's what you're looking at. Right. So your death camps and all that stuff. That's where your Red Dawn's going to start, if there was a thing.
Okay.
Right?
If that was a thing.
Think about it in terms of the movies. It makes it a little easier because it'd be like, why? That movie always was like, oh shit, I'm in high school, and then all of a sudden there's troops dropping outside your door. What do you do? Is that a reality?
You find Patrick Swayze fast.
I get my wrestling buddies together and we take on the Chinese army. That's what we do.
No, it was the Russians, first of all. What happened to the Russians? Was it the Chinese that invaded the second time?
The second time, the Red Dawn 2 Electric Boogaloo was the Chinese.
Red Dawn 2 Electric Boogaloo? Is that the one where the Chinese army dance fought with brooms on ceilings? No? I haven't seen Red Dawn 2 Electric Boogaloo. I assume, so it was just like the same thing, but they used Chinese, I guess?
I think so. I don't remember.
That's such stupid movies. Movies like that are so dumb, the invading force and all that stuff. Shut up. I'll tell you, for a guy that likes Bill Hicks, his bit about, and then you walk outside and birds are tweeting and everything's fine. I mean, that's as relevant today as it was ever been. All of the noise is broadcast to them and rattles in our own heads. You go outside, dude. It's a beautiful day out. I went for a walk today with John. It was awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
Nice.
Now, again, the headaches from the Havana syndrome get a little bit intolerable after a while. But I take a nap and they go down.
I got tinnitus in my balls.
I eat a baked potato and they go away for some reason. You have tinnitus in your balls?
Yeah.
The ball ringer.
That tinnitus in the balls thing is such a good gag. Did you only do it the one time?
I've only done it once, and that was just because I had Mitch at 1949. I just told him, hey, I got this bit I want to try tonight. I've never done really prop comedy or anything, but when I just pay attention, because when I take the microphone and put it to my crotch, I want you to give me some feedback. And I said, I went to the doctor today, and and he diagnosed me with tinnitus in my balls or whatever. And I was like, it's driving me crazy. It's just a constant ringing. And then I put the mic down there, and right at that time, Mitch cranked it up, and the whole room was just like, oh.
Sounded like there was like a whistling in his crotch. That was cute. I thought that was a cute joke.
It was fun.
That was back when we had the war room.
Back when, we had the war room. Yep.
Oh, shit.
We would sit in Jake's room and just come up with jokes, like the beating off on a baby monitor joke.
Yeah. We just sit in here and think of stuff. Listen to this real quick. Where's it at? There it is.
Is that you?
What are we in 12th grade?
Dude, Stream Deck has all of these great effects and songs and stuff that we use. We used 4 of the songs actually for the 48-hour film festival. It made everything so easy. We didn't have to look up stuff and credit anybody. SoundCloud. Stream Deck tells you not to credit. This is great, dude. I love this thing. Sorry. I don't know why. That makes me so happy, but anyway, hot topics. Show's falling apart, Gerry.
Okay. Hey, the mic is kind of shortened out on this end, so you guys sound a little bit like you're like gonna say, yeah.
Okay.
Got the Little John thing kind of going on the end of it. I just, just so if I got a confused look on my face, I might be having a flashback.
Fair enough.
Certain noises.
Okay.
Or code words. Ever since the conditioning, I got words to just take me out of it.
You're like the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, except with jokes.
So, Terry?
I'll just insult your deed or whatever. I'm good at it.
Terry, you're up.
Oh.
No, my man. Hey, we're live.
What's going on with? Am I supposed to be doing a set?
We got a show today.
Oh, I didn't realize this was a set. I thought you were going to show me pictures and stuff.
Yeah, we are. So I guess here we go. It's our hot topics this weekend. We did the 48-hour film project.
Yes. Yeah, we did.
For the rest of us.
We shed a lot of blood. We made a lot of memories, and we ate some pulled pork.
Yeah, that was good. Hey, good job on the pulled pork.
Thank you. Lasagna
Yeah.
Friday, pulled pork
Yep.
on Saturday, and then biscuits and gravy on Sunday.
Dude, yeah.
Catered the whole weekend.
The crafty was on point this weekend.
And pizza was from Giacomo's.
Giacomo's.
We're getting in all our corporate sponsors. We will be Hollywood, Gerry. We will drink the blood of the terrified and report back and let you know, holy shit, you were right. I can't believe how crazy that place is. But it is delicious. If you haven't had adrenochrome, I mean, it's crazy. So I'm going to go turn myself into the feds. You were right.
Yeah.
Almost 30 premiere. Almost 30 premiere. Chandrea Funye has a web series that's coming out. It's awesome. It's called Almost 30. It premieres this Friday, the 23rd at 7 p.m. on her channel, Chandrea Funye Presents, or on Facebook, I think at Almost 30. I hope that's it, but we'll try to get better information from her because I'm trying to get her on the show next week. We're buzzing through these because we want more Gerry and less news.
Is that a stand-up special or is that like a drama?
It's a web series. It's kind of a rom-com.
Yeah, I think
It
it's
sounds
comedy.
like a good title for any of the Netflix comedians that are out there.
That-
You're like almost 30. That's almost time.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
almost
we
have
don't,
30.
we don't have headliner sets. We got almost 30,
Right.
and I can do 15 minutes talking about what town I'm in and letting you folks know who live here what it's like to live here.
Right.
Right.
I'm doing
Thanks for
almost
taking that
50 and my
comment.
tits are sagging.
Thanks for bringing that Hollywood home.
Right. Almost 50.
Oh. Terry, go ahead.
Hey, Terry Shepard's at the Old Town Beer Hall on Sunday.
Nice.
Oh, I can't wait to drink some of that IPA at the Slappery Sunday at the Old Town Beer Hall.
And this is hosted by Jason Emery, who played
Mr.
Jason last weekend in the 48 Hour Film Festival film
Very
project.
nice. Oh, and Griffin just won that contest at Getty's.
Oh, good. Yeah, the funniest or the cleanest.
Cleanest comic, yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I think Tyson got in the funniest Indianapolis thing in Helium.
Yeah. He advanced. I go tomorrow night to do the first
That's
round.
the next hot topic, dude. Why are you guys bringing this stuff up? You're ruining the whole show.
I'm sorry, Shablam.
None of our viewers are going to see this.
Shablam. Shablam.
All right. Scarlet Envy is out. This is a heartbreaker. Jerry, I know that you've been catching up on All-Star Season 6 RuPaul. When we played the RuPaul channel when we were riding on Friday, I know it got you in the spirit and you caught up. What did you think of Scarlet Envy's exit based on, one, the critique, which they gave her great reviews on her drag, even though she got marginal reviews on her performance, but also against her work during the season?
Well, I do like the brightly colored stuff. It looks like crayons.
That's great. And what do you think of the fact that the person who I was surprised was still in the contest, to be honest, because she's kind of not done great, but all of a sudden just woke up. The glamour toad, Ginger Minge,
There you go.
stepped up big and won this week, knocking bitches out, and actually was the one who pulled the lipstick that said Scarlet on it. Stepping her pussy game up, stepping up that game. Number 5.
That's some hair.
Oh, Terry Shepard
I
at
think-
Helium Wednesday. Hey, all right.
Wow, that's weird.
What? I didn't know that. So what's
Yeah.
going on? What's going on at Helium, Terry? What is this thing about?
It's a contest where
Okay.
a butt ton of comics go up and perform, and this is the first round for me. We were just talking Tyson Cox advanced to the semifinals, so that's pretty cool. Hopefully, Lord willing, I move on to the next round as well.
Okay. And there's a round going on tonight as well, I think, which Jason Emery, I believe, is performing at. So that's
Yep.
probably going on as we speak,
Yeah, I think it'll be happening for the next few weeks.
right? Well, hopefully he does good. I like Jason. He was funny. He was funny. He was fun to work with. He was just a great guy to be around. I really enjoyed him. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed all those guys. Jimmy was awesome.
Yeah.
Dan was awesome. We lucked out. Doug was great. Everybody was just wonderful. Mitch was great. Dude, Mitch Prue did a performance of a lifetime. That guy did so good.
Told you, perfect.
Man, his physical comedy and his awareness while things were going on around him was just incredible. He did such a good job. So
It's
anyway,
good casting.
that is Hot Topics.
Hot topics.
Yum,
Right.
yum. So dumb. We still do that.
You're not going to show the rest of the cat?
Oh, hang on a second.
Damn, dude.
Here's the last one. That was the other part I got.
See, now at the end, the reveal is that your computer's been broken the whole time. It'd be like an M. Night Shyamalan thing.
That's right.
Ah,
We like the surprise
it
ending.
was real.
Did you enjoy the surprise ending of the film?
Yeah.
I know we're talking about it a lot, but still. I let my kids watch it, and they were
Are you
surprised.
talking
They
about
did,
the drag show? I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the end, the end of the rest of it.
48 hour.
The
The
end
rest of it. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Sorry, I'd moved on. I was already basking in your glory.
all right. So, I've got a question for you. Well, not even a question. So, we were thinking about T-shirts today, and we were thinking about putting together a "Quit Giving Stoners a Bad Name" campaign, almost like Mothers Against Drunk Drivers and things like that, to try to get
Right.
the disreputables to quit doing the stupid shit that they do that really drag down the people who, use it responsibly and can be adults.
Right.
So, and I thought, so the front's going to say, if you can't get high and get shit done and then get high. and then it'll have the logo in under it, right? But the get shit done and then get high will be on the back. And then this is kind of a Hemingway quote: if you promise it baked, do it sober, it'll show integrity, and you learn to shut the fuck up. So we're gonna make 2 shirts like that and see if we can't have an accountability campaign to bring about responsible stoner awareness. Thoughts?
Right. I would address the medical issue.
The what?
The medical thing is the big wave of idiots because they've never had anything, and they like, oh, I don't like to smoke, but I like to cook it.
Oh,
and then they go and they eat like a half a dozen of them, and then they're like underneath the bed hiding with the cat because they're afraid the government's coming with them. And I'm telling you, it happens most of the time. But
or they're in their 60s,
you know,
and they go to Jamaica, and their son hands them this brownie, and he says, "Hey, don't eat the whole thing, and just have a little bit. Save the rest for later." And you turn around, and they've ate the whole thing, and then you have to spend the rest of your time at the Bob Marley Mausoleum babysitting your mom
and your wife.
And they spend the whole time speculating if cannabis is a cure for cancer, how did he die of toe cancer? How'd that happen?
How did it happen?
How did
CIA?
Or the CIA come in?
Yeah, the CIA did.
Who dies of a cancerous toe? When is that? Has that ever happened in history?
They
And this
even
guy
showed
smokes
that.
weed by the bushel.
Right.
But even in his hometown area, you're upstairs and they got videos playing and they talk about that. The CIA, they still think the CIA killed him.
Well,
Because
they may be right.
Well, I mean,
Because the CIA was in there trying
toe
to
cancer.
put in their own government, and he was vocal about that with a lot of other people, and they were resisting, and they didn't want that.
It's funny how the government really loves the idea of people acknowledging the past and the transgressions of the past while never acknowledging the past or the transgressions of their past. It's such a, you know what I mean? Maybe that's the type of douche that this system needs to kind of cleanse all of that filth out, right?
Well, you're in a lucky state of place to be. Hold on, son, it's coming.
What's coming?
There's gonna be a big old butt washing coming down.
You think so?
It's gonna be. Yeah.
Dude, the last time there was supposed to be a big butt washing, a few boneheads broke some windows, and the guy's got 8 months.
Get away. Just watch Maricopa, dude. Just watch Maricopa. Things are gonna get silly.
I'll
Things
tell
are
you
gonna
what.
get ridiculous.
If things do,
I think they picked that September 13th. They've been talking about Trump supposedly said he'd be back in office.
right?
And it was like, well, to me, it just sounds like that's the day they're gonna pick some false flag. It's like calling the shot. Like,
Right.
oh, we need to have a big thing where people who haven't done anything really. I mean, if you think Capitol 6 was worse than 9/11, I really love your medals
No, it was.
because you're fucking hot.
Obviously,
So
it's
high.
not.
I mean, especially when it starts to come out,
Right.
But you go, oh, well, it's the worst thing ever since the Holocaust or whatever, and you start comparing it to, and then
Right.
of course while you're saying that this was a bad thing, you quote Stalin while you're trying to argue for election integrity.
Right.
It's not a matter of who votes, but who counts them. Oh, nice one, Joe.
So do
You
you
just
think
quoted
that's? Do you
Stalin.
think that's something like really? Do you believe that's something that's possible that Trump gets back in office?
Well, okay, just look at it this way. This has never happened before. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so it's never happened because nobody's ever gone this far, and nobody ever had the technology to be able to catch it. Right. But this was also a sting. This was a sting. This goes back to the Q stuff where they were talking about a sting, and then I go, "Oh, Jerry's a wackadoo." Here he is. But the thing is they were talking about if it was a military setup and sting, and it was supposed to take years to set up to make it happen because they have to catch the entire group in one net.
Right.
Right. So you have to cut off all the limbs to get it. So, the problem with people, is they want a timeline and they want an agenda, a schedule when things are going to happen. But all you can do is really watch what's happening
That's true.
and go, well, let's Where can we go from here? What would be the things that if I were a douchebag, what would I do? And think really about, if I could destroy the system, what would I do to destroy the system?
I'd run around,
And
grab some
it's
pussy,
easy.
and
You'd have a mask on and we'd be talking about the lambda variant. You know what I mean?
right.
So, you know, the problem is that nobody trusts the press. There was a poll that came out. They were talking about trusting celebrities and trusting the media, and celebrities and media came out at 4%. Like, people don't trust the media at all anymore.
Yeah, and they shouldn't. And they shouldn't.
Well, that wasn't the way it was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So a lot of the people that have had problems with things had problems in a time when they were taking their word for it. And that's the thing, is you got to extricate all that bullshit from what's the real truth.
And a lot of people have opened their eyes to the fact that the media is heavily skewed in directions, and that's undeniable. And Trump did bring that about. I mean, he opened a lot of people's eyes to that. Though
Veritas said that was their agenda.
What's that?
Their agenda. Veritas said that was their agenda. That was one of the tapes they got on the CNN guys. Was they specifically said, we got to get rid of Trump.
Man, but
Period.
Veritas has already been caught doing weird, shady stuff. And once you're shady to me, you're like always shady. So I have a hard time surmounting. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with that. But the thing is when you got video footage of these people saying these things,
Yeah.
then that's different to me, because it's not him saying it or editing. As long as you got a straight cut video that's got a question and answer session and an answer to it, the video ain't gonna lie unless you've touched it up and edited it.
Right.
So
And
but
I'm not.
revealed, what these calls have revealed and these clips have revealed, and it's coming out all over the place. There was definitely an agenda to move him out, but I think that's because if this was a military sting, and you still can go with the concept that that would be happening,
Right.
who would be the man on the sting?
Right.
He'd have to be somebody that they could search and search and search, and they couldn't find anything to nail him as much as they wanted to nail him.
Right.
Like today, they just had a MSNBC put something out about the guy who was in charge of Trump's inaugural campaign got arrested today.
Right. Yeah, I saw
They
that.
didn't say what for or what it was about, but they let you know right off the bat this arrested motherfucker was Trump's guy. So you put that in the press as a thing, and then the question is, what are you trying to achieve here? If it's he just announced he's going to run again.
They're just trying to arrest criminals.
Oh, did he announce it?
Yeah, he announced it.
Trump
He's
announced
doing
he's
it.
running again?
I don't like that.
He'll be in jail
Do that.
before he-
Wait,
yeah.
Trump announced he's going to run for president again?
Right.
When did that happen?
He just announced it today. I swear that light is giving me a Hitler mustache, and I really don't like talking about it.
No.
Well, I'll be like, oh, so,
No.
so the Q post.
Cut the camera.
The NASA, they're really been to the moon, you know. We've been
So-
up to the moon lots of times.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I think Trump will
Veritas,
be in prison by
if
September.
Veritas would come up and own up to all of their BS and clear the
Well,
slate, just like the U.S.
find other
government,
sources.
I would trust them. But as far as I'm concerned, they're media and they lie.
You find
Because
other
media
sources.
lies.
There's tons of sources. All you got to do is find video clips. Dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you find actual things that they're saying. That's what you hold them to. So if you want to know that they're lying about stuff, find out what they said a year ago. Find out what they're saying now.
But they
And then
but
you
they
know
all
that
do
they've got-
that.
Yeah, but within
Right.
the lies is the truth. See, that's the thing about deception. It's like you go with the whole Alex Jones concept. Like he's supposedly really on the far right. You know, he's the conspiracy dude. But there's a lot of people in conspiracies that don't believe he's one of them.
Right.
That he's a disinfo guy. So
I think he is, yeah.
yeah, listen to what they have to say. I listen to, I got a buddy that listens to him all the time, and I told him I won't give the guy credit for nothing. I mean, I'm not going to take his work for it.
So you think
fucking
that
way. That's like
Alex
Veritas.
Jones is like
Veritas
a
is the
government-owned disinformation
No.
technician?
I think that he gets fed shit, but I don't think he's government owned or controlled. I think he's just a drunk that figured out a way to con people a long time ago and has run with it for the last however many years.
Dude.
Did we
Don't
lose
say-
Gerry? Oh.
I just got kicked out, didn't I?
Just for a
Yeah.
second, though. Just for a second. You're fine.
I was talking about Alex Jones, and I got booted with my Hitler mustache, and now I'm back. I'm back. I'm running for the presidency in 2024.
Dude, have you guys heard me talk about the guy that lives down the road that has the Nazi flag that he
No,
hangs out
that
on
dude.
Saturdays?
No.
Yeah.
Crazy dude.
He's
No.
been in the news. He's this old guy. He's got a white. He lives down the road. He always puts out Confederate flags.
And Nazi flags.
And then on Saturdays, he puts out his Nazi flag. But it's not a Nazi Germany flag. It's a Nazi, like, Hindu flag. Like, so it's blue with the yellow swastika that's like this way.
Yeah.
And he's been on the news for it, and his neighbors.
I thought
Well,
I saw a flag.
it looks
I
like
thought I saw
somebody threw something through his window. He's
actual Nazi flag, like the red and black.
yeah.
and
He
white.
does that. He does that
Yeah.
one. I'm sorry. Yes, he does do that one too.
Okay.
But yeah, pretty unique guy. He spends a lot of time washing his motorcycle and hanging out with his dog.
I see him just
apparently.
washing his sidewalk. Like
Yeah,
he was just spraying down the sidewalk one day.
I think,
Yeah.
and he does it all with like this huge gun down the side of him.
Yes. Oh yeah.
You know what
I
I
was
mean,
snapping pictures and I was like, please don't shoot me. I'm just taking a picture of it.
dude? He's a
Yeah, well, why not? He's
Right.
proud of it, right?
he's got no problem. And you know what? Nobody around him. I don't know. I don't know the people around him. But I see him talk to his neighbors. I say I see him because he lives like on a major thoroughfare that we go up and down a zillion times to go to the grocery store. So this guy's always out.
Right.
And it's hard to miss the Confederate flag and the Nazi flag hanging in the front of the shotgun shack
Dude, it's like he's got
after
like
the
this-
railroad tracks.
The flags of losers is what it's called.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
The
it's like if
Confederate
you've never
flag?
lost a conclusion or an opinion on something, that's where you're at.
Yep.
Wait, what's the flag of losers?
For the Nazi
Confederate
flag.
and the Nazi flag.
The Confederate flag, which I find funny that everybody thinks that somehow that's the Republicans that should be carrying that, and that's the Democrat flag.
Yeah.
Surprise!
The
It's
Democrats.
the twist. It's the twist.
Well, they
So-
they switched polarities, I think.
Yeah, that's real. Yeah, okay. Sure,
Dude, look.
That's why they got to tear down all those statues of those Confederate
It's a time-
generals who happen to be
well,
Democrats.
It's a
Oops.
time-honored tradition. When you win, you write the history books. When you lose, you write the novels. I mean, that's just how history has always worked.
Or if you're hiding something and you need to put it out, you put it out within the narrative that you give people. Like, what's the real truth?
Right.
Like, what are we talking about America? What is this whole business? I mean, the whole
Truth is out there.
shooting match. I mean, when it all comes down to being like, if there is really an Illuminati conspiracy, then that leads to believe that there are organizations all around the world that have been planning this for a very long time, right?
Right.
So if that's the case, and you got this this is like a cult generational thing. You'd have to do it within families, which is what the narrative says, is that it's family lines. Your family is going to be one of the families that's going to help kill everybody else, and you're going to run shit.
Right.
And then they're all in on it, you know. And then occasionally they have to give up, you know, buddy.
I don't think people are really that. I don't think people are really that competent to pull anything like that off.
That is such a
Oh,
highly
I don't-
orchestrated
I
affair.
don't think competency has anything to do with it. I think it's that you've got it all covered. If you control the media and you control the security forces, whatever you tell them is what they're going to believe, because that's how it works. If you say a lie long enough, it's the truth, because the people don't get that. That was the whole thing. There was a clip I got on my page. I went on like this film festival, crazy, putting films on my page, trying to see whether they could catch me or not. And one of them
All
was
right.
from 1943. It was this guy reading out of the communist playbook. He was talking about, well, when you have a problem with a person or a group that's in the way, here's the slurs you should use. You should call them racist. You should call them division. The point is to create division.
Right.
That was the communist agenda all along.
Right.
So you go back to what's the whole point of communism is one world order.
Right.
It eventually comes down to it. That's what we've been up against the whole time.
So
This isn't like something new. It's just the problem is too many people believe that communism and socialism is cool, and you should ask the people in Cuba right now.
well, okay. So that's
That's the thing. I work with a Cuban. I've been talking to him every day. I've been like, holy shit, dude. So I'm still asking questions about the Haitian president.
right.
What fuck happened there, dude?
The problem
You got
is that
two Haitian Americans.
they squeeze
They
us.
play-
They squeeze us from both sides. They're. I agree with you. I think that the direction that the
that's how you
Democratic
control the
Party
system.
is taking us is one where everybody gets squashed, and dissent gets squashed, but
Right.
it just is prevalent on the other side, and it was shown over 4 years. They both play out of the same book. I was telling Terry this earlier. I want to put together a thing for the show. It's going to be one of our new Fist Deep deals, and it's going to be an anglerfish, and it's going to have two little boppers, and one's going to be an elephant, and one's going to be a donkey. Because truthfully,
Right.
my honest to God belief is that you are half right.
Well, I know Republicans are bad too.
I think this.
No.
I think the moment
The
that
slump-
you honestly do
The
this, you're
swamp
going to
is
go,
the whole
"Oh my
matter.
God, what am I doing?" And a lot of people are going to open their eyes to that, and that's when it's going to get flushed out. That's when the turd gets flushed.
But if the election stuff comes down, okay, so they do all these audits, right? Now they're talking about doing a 50-state audit, right? So doing a 50-state audit means they're going to.
Who's doing this
The
audit?
state
Yeah, who's they?
State legislature.
Because
Okay.
in Arizona,
State
the
legislature.
state legislature is not doing the audit. They've given it to
They're commissioning the audit. I mean, I'm telling you,
that group, the ninjas.
you
they-
can't
they're
bias
completely
numbers.
biased. The guy, you can definitely manipulate things to try to make them look like however you want to. That guy, that cyber ninja guy, has no experience doing this.
Just wait for it.
Okay, I'm
Just wait for
waiting.
it. The thing is if there's nothing wrong, then there's nothing wrong with them doing it.
Yeah.
Right, and there isn't anything wrong with them doing it.
So
they've
let 'em do it.
exhausted they've done this so many times, and they've exhausted all these resources. Now they
Pennsylvania.
want to do it again. So now you have
No.
Who's-
Actually, there's
now-
evidence.
votes.
There's
So
evidence that the Georgia guy faked his recount. Actually, that just came out today. There's a whole bunch of monkey business going on that you're not being told by the media. That's you got to find it on the back burner, man.
I mean, this guy.
Ravensburger's in a
all
world
right.
of shit.
I'm going to do it right now. Where's the back burner at? Tell me where to go. I'm bringing up my Bezos or Gates or somebody's sponsored spy machine search engine as we speak. Where do I go?
Well, I'll tell you what a good one to go look at. Sorry about the glasses, but
You're
we're
right.
at a distance. Telegram has been okay. So I'm off of Twitter completely. So my news feed has switched over. I got onto Telegram. There's a lot of people,
Telegram.org?
specific individuals. What is Telegram? It's its own app. It's what I got. And what I find is I got all these people that are connected to the actual audit that are in the middle of it right now.
Okay.
And I'm seeing the stuff that everyone's putting out. The thing is a lot of these posts, once you post them, it'll take you to the source material. That's why you hear it every day about what's going on. So and actually the Gateway Pundit is one of the ones that's been breaking a lot on the Georgia stuff as far as the fraud stuff. Now, certain people don't listen to that because quote unquote, it's false news.
Right.
But thing is within the
It's
article.
all false news, Jerry. They're all lying to you. Go ahead.
Well, it's the source material that goes to the source material. See, that's the thing is, see what nobody remembers is that every reporter is just another guy telling you something.
Right.
The question is, who's got an agenda not to tell you something?
Right.
Then you found your secret, right? And that's why WikiLeaks. For me, for WikiLeaks, is I have a specific list of guys I know are dirty. They work for Hillary Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the WikiLeaks list. I'm not listening to those guys ever
Right.
unless I'm reading what they're saying to see what the agenda is. Because even if they're a liar, they have something to say and they're doing a job. The question is, what's the job? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
so
that's
that's how
all
you
of them.
learn to read the media.
But
There's
that's all
truth
of them.
within the margins. You just have to go look at the source material. A lot of it is, you start talking about a lot of this is coming out in paperwork in courts.
Uh-huh.
That's why Glenn Wood's catching so much shit. He's doing so much shit with depositions and stuff. Everybody says the guy's making claims that a normal person would be sued into oblivion over.
Right. Lynn
He's
Wood?
a defamation lawyer. Yeah.
Right.
He's a defamation lawyer. He knows its ins and outs. I read the deposition of his whistleblower from the people that he's accusing.
Right.
The deposition comes across as credible. It needs to be investigated to see if the claims are true. And there's ways to do that. Unfortunately, It's like one of those things where I just read this yesterday. So I'm still trying to figure out the Haiti thing. you know?
So, so all of this moves along, time goes on, everything. I'm going to equip. So people go into Scientology, and at the end, at a certain point, they go to this thing called OT3 or something, or OT5. I don't know which one, OT something or another. I watched the documentary. I'm not an expert. And they open up the thing, and it says something about freaking space airplanes and DC-10s and spirits and all of this stuff. And part of them go, what the hell are you talking about?
Right.
Either at the end of the road, that's the question that you have to ask because you're now opening the ultra crazy one, or you are right and everything is about to change. And it feels, and I'm saying this because what I don't think most of the US understands is that a lot of you feel honestly like that's what's up. Right?
I'm looking at sources.
Right.
I'm looking at what the media is not telling you.
And it feels like that's what's
that's
up. That's probably fair.
But that's the problem, because there really is two sets of what we're seeing.
Right.
If you're not looking for it, you're getting what you're told. If you're picking your phone up and you're letting Yahoo News tell you what's up, or MSNBC is Microsoft. You trust Bill Gates?
Right.
Really?
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then that's hooked with NBC, and that was a corporate merger. It was really weird though. Okay, so like the other night I found this clip on Tucker, and I keep going back and forth on this guy. I can't get a beat on him, because I'm like, he's either a total, he's just so good at getting stuff out at the moment that is actually true. But the past things I saw of him when 9/11 came around, he was a bully.
Yeah.
He was bullying this guy who was saying shit that basically, I've seen stuff, I say what this guy was saying. This needs to be looked into. It was a professor who was talking about it, and he was calling him a quack and a crazy person. And then with like Hannity.
Right.
See Hannity, he sort of kind of talks the line of a patriot. But then again, I look at these old 9/11 footages, and he's being abusive to a guy calling him quack and starting a fight with him, just like CNN. But that's back when they were on MSNBC. So the question is, how much do you trust your sources?
You don't.
One. The question number two is, how much do you let their interpretation of it sway what you know about the real story? Because anybody can come out and start talking about, does anybody really believe Cuba riots are happening because people are tired of the coronavirus?
Mm-hmm.
For real, with a straight face, they're against communism, but they can't say that because the problem is Marxist agenda is communism.
Right.
It's what it is. That's the whole point to the one world order, right?
So is
the
Biden administration not saying anything about it?
They can't say communist. They can't not support it. They have to.
Is that right, Terry?
I'm
I'm asking you, Terry, as my outside of the loop guy.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard anything other than they are oppressed and they hate communism. Like, I've never heard any other narrative than that.
Jen Psaki.
Huh?
Jen Psaki.
Jen Psaki, who's that? Oh,
The press secretary. She's been a wealth of information.
She's the one
She's
that
been a
said,
fun one, because she's lying to you, and you know that she's lying to you. That's just why it's fun to lie.
Has she said they're upset because of COVID, not because they're...
It's because of COVID restriction. It's because of COVID restrictions, obviously.
Oh,
It's not about communism.
Yeah.
But they won't say communism. They can't say it because that invokes it, because that's like the border crisis. It's still going on. Worst tragedy ever 4 years ago. Ooh, but now we're still having it and nobody's paying attention.
So let me ask this question.
You can't even get the vice president to go any further than El Paso to get to the border. That's the hilarious part. It's like people don't know how to use a map. Where the fuck's El Paso? Where's the border? Where's Kamala? Not at the border.
El Paso is the border. You cross the
Look
street.
at where the map was at, where she went. She didn't go to the border.
If you're in El Paso, all you got to do is cross over here down the valley. I've been there, and then you're in Juarez, Mexico. It's like the border of the United States and Mexico.
She never went to the border. She never went to the border. She flew over it. She went to Guatemala. She went to Walter Reed.
Isn't? Yeah, I don't know.
I think
But
that's
it's not a problem. But it's not a problem anymore. Either way, whether she went or not,
All governments
It's
should
not
be
a
run by
problem.
the people. All people should be free to do what they like. That's just
not
that's
that.
how people.
It's
That's
not
how the
that.
world's supposed to run.
It's not that though. It's a cover for human trafficking. That's the problem with the border. It's not about immigration and immigrants. It's about fucking human trafficking.
Right.
People are coming over undocumented with other people's kids. Is anybody bothered by that? No, because I'm sure they've got family here when they chuck them over the fence. No, that's not the case, dude.
So how
That's
many
not
how
the
many
case.
come through a year?
Who knows?
Well, I mean, just
Who knows? If the border's unregulated, you don't know. They buzz people all the time coming over. You know, you hear about it all over the place. There's been more done in the last 4 years than's been done in a while. But that's because they've had active border patrol working. That's the problem. Coyotes don't give a shit. And again, it goes back to the Illuminati. The money is in people.
What if we just decriminalize all drugs and then,
Slavery,
and
what?
then
it wouldn't
no
matter.
Cartel won't run anything.
It wouldn't
down,
matter.
Won't be fleeing that.
Because it still comes down to the people, dude. It still comes down to human trafficking. That's where the money's at. Godfather 3
Godfather 3?
runs to the Vatican.
That was
Got
Oh,
runs
to the Vatican. Yeah, the Vatican that
Again,
Trump
we go
and
back to the
Trump
Vatican.
Trump
See,
put in
that's the
3
thing.
Catholics, 6 Catholics, all
Everybody- well, you know
conservatives.
That was the
And,
best guy.
and if you want to throw Trump in on that train and you think there's guilt and whatever, I don't care. Throw him
No,
on.
no. I'm not throwing
If
Trump at
it's-
anything.
if it's-
I'm stating
No,
the
no, I'm
fact that he put
I'm just saying.
6 Catholics on the Supreme Court, which means that there are, or 3 on the Supreme Court, which means there's 6, all of which report to what, Rome?
Right.
Right.
Maybe.
Great call.
Are they?
I'm just
well,
saying it was a
yeah,
master
but then
stroke.
that's-
It was the sign of a sign of somebody who would hire and fire 30 people in his administration and call them all idiots. I don't know. It just seems kind of dumb.
Follow the trail.
I
You
did.
gotta follow the
It
money, follow the
sounds
body.
dumb.
Well, I don't know. The Vatican controlling the Supreme Court isn't where I would have made the linkage. That's not how the linkage would work. Because the thing is, there's too much direct contact. That's why you go between businesses. It's like one person tells another person, that person tells the other person.
Right.
That's why when you've got a guy embedded in the DOJ and a guy embedded in the FBI and a guy embedded in the CIA, they can all play off of each other. And then you got a guy embedded in CNN who used to be
And
in Langley.
6 embedded in the Supreme Court.
Right, exactly.
They're everywhere.
But that's the thing. If you can't find and root them out, and if they're all guilty, fine.
Right.
It's not. I'm not taking it personal.
Understood.
All I can do is look at the stuff that's happening and look at what There's a probability of things that are going down, and you can read it and say it isn't or not. But I'll tell you what, they're getting pretty wacky over Maricopa.
And I'll tell you what, dude, and this is why you are always, always, always welcome on this show, and I've always got big hugs for you, because at the end of the day, whatever's true, you will know it's true. And you accept
Right.
that, because at the end of the day, Gerry Gobel's reasonable AF. And
Yeah, I'm not. I don't. I got a friend who's a flat earther, and everybody at work was like, "We don't want to talk about him as a flat earther. What do you think?" And I'm like, "Listen, I can't disprove it. I don't have a rocket. I
Right.
can't go up and look at the sky. I have to take people's word for it." And then again, we're back to trust and sources.
that's right.
If you think NASA's doing a good job for you, great. But then if you happen to know a little about Stanley Kubrick, then you have questions. And there's questions and doubts. And the whole idea of a flat Earth, they're like, well, it's not flat. It's like a big box. Like we're in a giant habitrail. And it's actually ice walls surrounding the whole thing. And we're in the center. All the continents are in the middle, and it's surrounded completely by oceans. So when we think we're going around the world,
Right.
we're just basically coastally.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I'll tell you what, though, I have noticed a lot more of these rocket launches seem to go at an angle lately. And I'm like, it doesn't seem like they're going out. But okay, I don't want to be a doubter. I can't prove it. I don't suggest aliens. I mean, like the possibility of alien life out there, if there is a world beyond this big garbage box or whatever we're in, okay, you can't have aliens if you've got flat Earth, because what the aliens are is angels or demons. Now you're talking Nephilim. Now you're into the Bible scripture. Tell you what, been reading some of that shit. That throws stuff into question too. You start
Dude,
going, is
when
this
the
a big
UFOs
game?
land and they're like, look, we put a thing down here. It kind of went AWOL. You guys are all assholes. It was unintentional, whatever. Just stop the nukes and quit being dickheads. Hey, Gerry Gobel, stop it, man.
Right.
And then they just bolt.
Right. I would be like,
We're not going to
hey,
have
E.T.,
fucking
come on
nothing
over
to
for
talk
dinner.
about
I
any
got some-
longer.
I
You're
got
no longer
questions.
going to be a guest. Well, you're going to be so boring.
Right.
It'll all be
Sorry,
done.
man. Sorry, but
Your mind will
that's the worst part
explode
about
and
the
you'll
truth
go,
is
well,
when it comes
shit.
out, all of a sudden it's not interesting.
God damn it. Holy shit. This sucks. Just had to come
Listen,
down today, didn't you,
If the
aliens?
truth comes, if the truth comes back, I can go back to bullying people at open mics.
Dude, I love you.
I can have my time free. I don't have to spend every hour of the day trying to save the world for you fuckers. And you know,
Hey, hang on, hang on.
you know, I'm wasting my. They're like, why aren't you on the road today? Why aren't you taking shows? I'm like, dude, I am saving the fucking world. I don't know whether you take it serious or not, but
Well, you get to save the world
that's
right
fine.
like, you get to
All I
save the
know-
world right
all I
now,
know
Jerry.
is
Go ahead, keep going.
I'm watching the greatest movie in the world. I have been blessed in my life.
Hold on,
that
I'm
I've
gonna
been
put you.
able
I'm
to
gonna
see
put you
some
on solo.
greatest-
Go.
Okay, I've been blessed to see some of the greatest comedy in the world. When I was born, I was lucky enough to see Monty Python when it was played new. I was lucky enough to see Saturday Night Live when it was played new, first 5 seasons. I was there when SCTV was there, when it was happening. I mean, I saw Laugh-In. I've seen the greatest comedians in the world through the 80s and the 90s. I've seen it all, and it was entertaining as hell. But watching the end of this has been great. This has been great.
Yeah.
The Q movie has been the best movie I've ever watched because I'm watching it and I see things happening all the time. And you're like, oh, really? And you're like, and now I'm starting to pick out events and just going, oh, well, you know, I guess that's another Day of the Jackal. And you're like, oh, okay. You know, it's fascinating to watch all these people fall out. And it's like, and now the new players. And you say that the Illuminati, to pull off these coordinated efforts, they couldn't all be that capable. And then you look at Hunter Biden and you go, this guy's a complete fuck up. He's fucked up everything. I mean, he's so stupid. He keeps evidence of himself committing crimes on his laptop and then he takes it out and leaves it somewhere. For real? What a dumb fuck. He threw a gun away at a fucking school. He had to get Secret Service involved. This kid's problematic. This is the guy that takes down the companies because he's so obvious, because he doesn't get it. He's not invested in this like his daddy was.
Right.
You know, and that's the way it is with any good business. The parents are always good about the first business. The kids usually don't give a shit. By the time it gets to the grandkids, that throw them out the window. And here we are. The Illuminati done fucked up. Rothschilds are in the shit house. You know, Soros is done. All of their little schemes are coming to an end. They're not going to be able to push poison on us and tell us that we're healthy. You know, and they won't be able to hide technology from us like they've been doing. But, you know, of course, that's not happening because there's no evidence. But just wait, it'll happen. Just wait. I'm telling you, there's this whole thing going on, right? And you watch all these people like Katie Hobbs in Arizona. She's a delight.
Who's
She's
Katie
the
Hobbs?
Secretary of State.
Okay.
She's the one that said, oh, it's a perfectly good election and we don't need no elections here. And somebody told her they were covered and now they're not. And she's not handling it well. So that's the best part. Raffensperger and Kemp and Georgia, they're throwing people under the bus left and right.
Yeah.
You know, Stacey Abrams' Friendly Faces crew that went in and they were the people that got hired to do, you know, the ballot work. So again, criminal enterprises are starting to be uncovered that have nothing to do with the election.
Right.
So stuff's blowing up all over the place. The moment that Ghislaine Maxwell was ordered to give up evidence to her judge that was being secured by the FBI for safety, she ordered it to be released.
Right.
The next Monday, Tuesday, the Haitian president is dead. What? The Clinton Foundation was supposed to be outed in that paperwork. The Terra Mar project, which was Ghislaine Maxwell's, how she made her money off the UN
Right.
and the Vatican because she was running the Terra Mar project. Oh, the world undersea. I saw a hangar in the sea and it made me sad. And now she's making all this money trafficking kids, right? They're human trafficking people. They're doing it. So, and where did they get them from? In 2010, the Haiti disaster, where they moved in with all that money and then they embezzled it all and took it and they took the kids. And that is what's going to come out. So then next 4 days later, when everybody was expecting a false flag that weekend, nobody called it as a false flag. The Haitian president gets killed. He's killed by 2 Haitian American men Haitian Americans. One of them who was a DEA snitch,
Right.
The other was Mike
and
Johnson.
another guy who was the guy who got him to go. He claimed that the UN backed him, and he talked to the State Department a month before. It said he was going after him. He told the State Department a month before he was going after him. He had 28 Colombians that were with him that did not speak any. They spoke Spanish. They didn't speak any English.
Right.
The night of the shooting, the people, the two American guys were saying, and I got the audio clip on it, where they're saying, "We are DEA. This is a DEA operation. This is a DEA operation."
Right.
Okay, so now you got guys pretending to be other things, showing up to meet a Haitian president. Now, if the Haitian president's dirty, why do they have to disguise themselves to go up to him?
I don't care.
They wouldn't need to, because he would trust them completely. So if a guy comes out and he thinks it's American DEA, he must have walked out of his house and his wife got shot. There's a body on the ground in front of where the picture's at. They never said anything about other bodies.
But none of this grimy shit is surprising. I mean, this is the gross stuff that everybody does. It's all the same gross thing.
And then Joe Biden says we're going to send the FBI and Homeland Security to secure the country. Joe Biden's going to let America take care of it for him. The FBI, who's been so diligent with everything for so long, hiding and making up false warrants. The FISA warrant stuff's still real.
Who did you want him to put in there instead of the FBI?
The problem is they're just covering up all the Clinton Foundation shit. That's what it is. It's the false flag.
Well, right. Trump went in and covered up a bunch of his crap, and now the Clintons are covering up their crap before then. Bush has cleaned up their crap. That's how that works. That's what the job is. The job isn't about running the country. It's about cleaning up crap.
They assassinated a president to cover up some crap.
Yeah, history's always people always do stupid crap like that. They kill presidents all the time for stupid stuff. You shouldn't be aghast by that by now. It's like commonplace, and because they all do it, it means they all got to go. Right.
Well, and the guy that they put in charge of it. Well, I mean, who is it that's? I think they killed the guy who was honest.
So who goes? So who goes? We're gonna do it. We're doing an extended cut with Gerry Gobel. By God, who goes?
Well, I'm just saying that the Haitian president was assassinated, and a lot of the media photos of him looks exactly like the Antifa riots. He won't give up his power. He won't blah 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 blah. Lots of accusations, no proof. So a guy in the United States is talked, and he claimed again by the UN. To go in and take this guy out and take his place. Right. It was a regime change.
So, in the U.S. government, who goes?
Regime change for the Clintons.
So
that's where all the dirt's at, dude.
Was it a regime change?
Yeah. I mean, it's a regime change. They just killed the guy that took over. Was not the vice president.
All right.
It was a new guy that got brought in as prime minister back in April. So they managed to get their Mike Pence put in place, ready to take him out, and they did.
Ah, gotcha.
If you're running these deep state things like this, okay, so you want to run a country and the wrong guy gets in office, you put his replacement right next to him and wait for him to get whacked. And they have a heart attack gun at the CIA.
So the 4D chess playing freaking Trump couldn't figure out that dopey Mike Pence was a government turd. Are you kidding me?
No, I think he knew.
Well, everybody knew
from the beginning because Q knew.
Okay.
Q knew. Trump knew.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why put him in?
You know.
Why not do what he said he was going to do instead of putting a bunch of shills and ghouls in place?
Well, okay. So what happened was originally, St. Flynn couldn't be his candidate. Mm-hmm. Remember?
Yep.
General Flynn got taken out. That was the vice presidential candidate he wanted.
Okay.
So they framed him, with the Logan Act, and it was a straight up lie. Everything that came out, he's totally vindicated. That was a hustle. That was an FBI hustle. Okay. And actually, the Logan Act thing, that was in the paperwork. That was introduced by Biden. That was Biden's idea. And that's in transcripts. So, so Trump, to get the nomination, they forced him to pick him. You weren't going to get the nomination unless you took Pence.
But he had the people.
So you had to take.
He already had the people and he had the votes.
Well,
what did they care?
Well, I don't know about that. I don't think anybody expected him to win, to be frank.
He had the people. He had the votes.
I thought Hillary was going to win.
Yeah, but he
selection.
smashed the Republican field. That's what we're talking about. I'm not even talking about president yet. I'm talking about the Republican side. They didn't have a choice. They had to. He crushed everybody. So there was no, you have to take somebody. He's Donald Trump. He could have taken anybody. Anyone.
If the election could have been cheated and it was all corrupt, and it's always been corrupt, how did Trump win if he's a white hat?
Oh. Hey, wait a minute.
Maybe because the election wasn't.
You think Trump's an operative? You think Trump is part of the deep state? Is that what you're saying?
I think the military dropped him in. That's where I. If it turned out he was a deep state actor, this would all be completely stupid. This would be a sure sign that the Illuminati dumb as fuck. Why would you waste all your assets on Trump?
Wait. So the United States military picked a guy who's been laundering money for Russian mobsters for the past 30 years and said, hey, we want you to run for president so you can expose all the corruption. I'm just wondering if that's what they
Show me the laundering information you got, and I'll believe it.
Terry?
Okay.
What do you got?
I don't have it because it's not real.
He
was an informant. Trump was an informant. He was a fucking informant. He was a voluntary informant. He didn't get busted and have to trade up. He was a volunteer. That's in the paperwork too. What was the guy's name? He had a weird name. Strobe? I have to look him up. I haven't thought his name in years. But that's how he came in contact with Mueller. And that's how he came in contact with Barr. Now, Mueller, with some of these emails that I've been seeing, they're like, and it was Judicial Watch got these. It was Mueller emails that were released painted it as though Mueller was a guy who would hire hitmen. Now, taking that out of context, you go, well, that sounds pretty wacky. But then you start thinking about Whitey Bulger. Whitey Bulger was Mueller's contact. He was his narc. That's how that was that whole movie about that mobster was betraying his buddies. Yeah. That was all written about. I can't remember the name of it. They all look the same. It's always De Niro or somebody in it.
Right.
Anyway, but this guy was an informant. So Bulger was an informant for the FBI, and he was ratting his buddies out or his enemies out while he was doing illegal activities.
Right.
So right there at the end, like in 2018, I think, he got a transfer out of prison, and he was sent and put in general population and dead within the same day. He needed to go.
Okay.
And I think that's the loose end. Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me either.
Becomes, why would you transfer a guy who was a high-profile informant and leave him in public? You know,
right.
You go, oh well, it's the incompetence of the system, but it's like, yeah, it's real handy. It's real handy. Here's a guy who had dirt, and he made some claims that MK Ultra training too.
Right.
And that's then you start seeing again. This is where it starts to go to the fringes. You just look at the news stories, and then you start going, well, what is this guy talking about? He was talking about MK Ultra. Well, that takes you to the CIA. Welcome to the club. Now it's like, now Mueller is working with the CIA, which he would have been, because what's his face? Brennan is a straight up communist. He ran as a communist. He was a manager for a communist candidate.
Right.
How he got to be in charge of the CIA is unbelievable.
Dude,
it's unbelievable. Why you got a guy who would want to overthrow your government? You put him in charge of your secret agencies, and then everybody goes, "Well, why would they ever do these things?" And it's like, because they put communists in the wrong places. When you got a guy with an agenda, all it takes is agenda. You just infiltrate organizations. You put one in every spot.
They all have agendas. Secretary
of State is a powerful position. Did you know that?
Sure.
Nobody knew that.
Nobody knew that. It's a powerful position.
Nobody knew that before this election.
That's not true. No, James Baker was the one who brought that to prominence in my lifetime.
Okay, maybe it meant a lot to you.
Come on,
man.
The
average person, I disagree. The average person, I don't think, knew what a Secretary of State was.
Dude, everybody had that guy's playing card.
Well, be that as it may,
these are
the same people. These are the same people that changed election laws.
You never opened up your 17 magazine and saw James Baker at the centerfold?
I vaguely remember James Baker. Did he play guitar?
He played with the heartstrings of democracy.
Or was he in George Bush's band? I can't really remember.
He's just the first name that came to mind, Jerry. I'm not improving anymore.
He was like Chet. Chet, and
He played Chet.
Chet Baker. Yeah. Obviously, his brother. They did duos. Yeah.
Jerry,
So, music to take down a democracy by. How about that?
I'm going to wrap the show up on that, Jerry. You are a freaking superstar, sir.
We're still going?
We can. Yeah, we're still recording.
Shit,
We're still live.
About an hour ago, man.
No, we're still live. Dude, we love you. You're the best. You're definitely coming back every month because we love talking to you, and you are always welcome in my house to have lasagna and write whenever you feel like it.
Thank you very much. This floating head thanks you very much.
Yeah, dude, this is twice you've been a floating head.
Max had.
I know. I'm trying to hide the.
Terry, anything you want to say before we go?
Oh, this has been
Well, I love you guys.
Real joy. Yeah, I love you too, Geraldo.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Good luck in your contest.
Hey,
Yes, good luck, Terry. Tomorrow night at Helium, 8 o'clock, downtown Indianapolis. Check Terry out. Funniest Person in Indianapolis, Indiana contest. Friday, Chandrea Funye, 7 p.m. web series. Check it out. It's on the page. Gerry Gobel, superstar, operative for the CIA, putting out disinformation campaigns through our multimedia platform. And
Alex Jones is your friend.
We love you, buddy. See you, everyone. Good times.
Bye, guys.
Oh, that was fun, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, man.
Sorry, I forgot we were filming there. I was just talking to you. I was like, wait a minute, we gotta get these documents.
We still had a
on.
show going, brother. We got some great. We got great content.
Great.
I say
course,
we got
most of
great.
it-
We had honest to
most
God
of it'll get you
conversations.
Most of it'll get you banned.
Oh, that's all right. Then they can ban us. Good for them. They've done it to better than us. I promise you.
But there was no endorsement of the flat Earth, just for the record. I'm really actually into the hollow Earth, which makes the Earth kind of like a donut.
Oh,
So
I love a good hollow Earth.
I would buy that before I'd buy the flat Earth.
I prefer hollow moon, honestly. Well, the moon is hollow, but I prefer the fact that the moon is inhabiting something presently. Dark side
Right.
and entry points and all of that stuff.
Didn't the Nazis get there? Isn't that the Nazi moon base?
Man,
Yeah.
that was deep.
That was deep.
Hey, your mom was in chat.
Oh, was she?
what